Hey folks, hope you're doing good today, flying through the week. Thanks for tuning in. If anyone's interested in my insomnia updates, I actually got a good night's kip last night. Woke up feeling like a new man. Now I'm just chronically sleep deprived and not almost dead. It's a good feeling. Today we're going to check out a cool one-man band who's got on board with this channel. Very, very cool. This is Neil from Glasgow, goes by the name of Caustic Waves, a one-man band. And you know I love one-man bands. And he's sending over his stuff now for us to check out. He goes by alternative rock and post-hardcore here on his page. It says, for friends of Far, Deftones, Helmet, Incubus, Finger 11, 3 Days Grace. Well, pretty much all of those bands were bands that I was into back in the past. If you have a look on here as well, on his picture, he's got his Earth Tone 9 shirt on, so I dug my old Earth Tone 9 shirt out as well. And whenever I see anyone in an Earth Tone 9 shirt, which is pretty much never, he's probably one of the only people I've ever seen that in the last 20 years, massive kudos from me, because they were one of my favourite UK bands 20 years ago. Used to go to all their gigs that we could do around the Midlands and really love checking out those bands. So it's cool. But I can see, I just know exactly what this dude's into from the bands that he's into here. I'll just quickly get it up on his page here. He's been doing some vocal covers of different bands. He's got Perfect Circle here. Who was it? Finch, Incubus, Liberty 37, Finger 11, and Silverchair, Weezer, all those bands in there, Glassjaw. Now, I was actually surprised. I was expecting to see him upload a Taproot cover, because if this guy's not into Taproot or he doesn't know about Taproot, man, that should be a band that this guy is all over. And his vocal tone as well is quite similar to the dude in Taproot. So he do a really nice cover of them. So I'm expecting to see a Taproot cover sooner or later come up on this channel. But the track that we're going to check out today is his latest one. It's called Barriers. He's done 2 videos for this one. He sent over a lyric video, but he said, well, there's also another kind of home performance video, and I don't mind if you check that out as well. Well, that's the one we're going to check out for sure, because I always say when we just get a lyric video, man, we should have been able to see him playing this. So we are going to do that one. This one's called Barriers. Got the video on the screen. Let's give it a spin. Yeah, love to see him playing all the instruments. Vocal layering sounds good.
Cause he's taken away by the one who tear them apart. Break down all these barriers and turn them into bridges back to where we began. You can break them all, reconnect the chains.
Bass sounds great.
Before it's too late.
I can hear all the influences from this guy.
Distorts the lenses in his eyes, twisting all that he sees and believes is reality. The ring fences insulate and contaminate his mind. Why can't he see that you're pulling the strings, controlling everything?
Cool.
Break down all these barriers and turn them into bridges back to where we began. You can break them all, reconnect the
Great drumming as well.
Inside her, you will find a heart of pyrite and not of gold. Please try and sympathize with everyone you've left out in the cold. I hope you escape the illusion and wake up in time.
Cool.
Break down all these barriers and turn them into bridges back to where we began. Oh, you can break them all. Reconnect the chains before it's too late. Too late. Reaching out.
Lots of sections.
They only want the best for you. Reaching out. Don't push them away. Put an end to all this pain.
Loved it. Man, I feel right at home listening to this guy because I just know all of his influences. They're all my influences as well. And I can just hear it. You know, me and this dude are coming up from the same place musically in a lot of ways. Very, very cool. I think he did an absolute great job as a one-man band on this track. And I think he's heading down such a solid path as a one-man band. Really, really impressed. And I really enjoyed watching him play his bass and his guitars and doing the singing as well. Very cool. The bassing was great as well. Not just kind of root note stuff, bringing it up and down the scales. Big bass tone in the mix as well. Sounded great. What I'm going to say to this guy is he's got everything going right here. I think he just needs to do more of what he's doing to step it up to the next level. And it's going to be a really nice step up as well to like really great. What I think he needs to do is at least all the time have that double layered vocal. I think the first verse was just a single layer of vocal. And I was thinking, man, I would have double layered that. And then the whole rest of the track was all double layered or even triple layered at some points. And it sounded much, much better. So I would say always at least have that double layer of vocal because it thickens it up. It's got a harmony and a kind of width more to it at that point. And I think a single vocal nowadays just sounds too thin because there's so much else going on in the music and it's so kind of in your face now, the music, that a single layer of vocal with just a kind of maybe a little bit of reverb on it isn't enough. It's like kind of clean guitars in metal. It needs somewhat more to it to kind of fill out the rest of the track. So the double layer vocal sounds great. And I liked it even more, and I'd say do more of it where you had the triple layer vocal and even more stereo width. Kind of, do more on that. I would say the more layers of vocal that you can do and can stereoize it and bring in one in each ear and things like that would be really great. One thing I would like to see a little bit of through the vocal as well, which you did see in the bands who influenced this guy, and I would like to see in this kind of music, is just a little bit of aggressive shouting or maybe a bit of distortion on the vocal at some points or something, because this post-hardcore vibe, alternative rock vibe, it's always nice when it pushes itself into that kind of screaming emotional vibe as well. That's when the emotions are at their hardest. So I do like to see that at least kind of that box ticked at some point within the track. As I say, either a bit of screaming and shouting or bringing in some distortion onto the vocal just so it sounds a bit rougher and more aggressive. Because that's an edge I always like to see in post-hardcore. I think post-hardcore with no screaming and shouting at all isn't necessarily post-hardcore. It's a kind of a different thing because you've got to have that. Hardcore is about aggression, you know, so I do want to hear that in a little bit of the music. I really enjoyed the track otherwise, but, you know, I would like to see that going forward. Just push that vocal a bit harder so it breaks and cracks up and gets a bit of fry in it, so we can hear that emotion in your voice as well, you know, push that through the mic. That's what I'd like to see from the vocals. I'd like to see more of the lead guitar as well, because when that came in, it was really nice because it sat above the rhythm guitar and just brought another layer of a sound into the mix, and it kind of thickened the mix up even more. Sounded really great. The drumming was sick. Had no issues with that whatsoever, and they were obviously MIDI drums, but really well done, sounding great. I mean, the MIDI drums sound absolutely great nowadays, so yeah, really killing it, man. If you just had a bit more lead guitar, a bit more of an aggressive section, and just at least double layered vocal all the way through, but with more triple layering and thickening of the vocal, man, I think you'd have absolutely nailed it at that point. You know, gone from kind of 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 at that point. That's what I'm saying. Those little steps up, in my opinion, would take this to where it needs to go to get there. Sick. Love to see that from a one-man band as well, where they're doing such a great job that just a few more minor things, or just a bit more of what they're already doing, just go a bit more crazy with it, in my opinion. Yeah. Absolutely killing it. And when you know the influences that this guy's got, you know, if you're my kind of age, I don't know how old Neil is actually. It doesn't say on here on any of his pages, but he looks about my age, kind of late 30s, maybe hitting 40 now. And I guess we've just had a very, very similar kind of 20 years ago, the bands that we were into and all of that. And I can just hear it all through his music. Very, very cool. So if you're one of us as well who's had that influences, you'll just be loving this guy as well, because you can hear all those bands coming through his tracks. Sick. Looking forward to checking out more from this guy. Hopefully we see those, just more of what he's already doing is what I'm saying. And man, that'll be it. He'll have got there. Sick. Hope you're having a good week this week, guys. That's what I've got for you today. We'll see you tomorrow for some more cool bands. That'll be the week over already. There you go. Cheers. Bye.